Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is for One Styling. Today I'm going to show us how to go about the cutting and sewing of this off-shoulder asymmetric bubu. To make this, you're going to need about 2 to 3 yards depending on your size. So here I have 2 yards of fabric. You can use Ankara fabric, you can use your Ajere fabric, any fabric of your choice, but I'll suggest you use Ankara fabric for better outcome. Okay, so the first thing I did is to fold my fabric into 2, then I fold into 2 again to make it 4, because I'm going to be cutting both the front and the back together. So after which you have fold your fabric like this, make sure it lay flat, and I'll suggest you iron your fabric before you start cutting, depending on how rough or how straight it is. After that, you're going to take the dress length. So this is going to get to the knee line. Okay, so you're going to take your measurement to wherever you want it to be. On this upper part, I'm going to mark a margin line, which is going to serve as a starting point for me. Okay, and that line I have about ½ an inch upward, and it's going to be like a sewing allowance for me around the shoulder. Then on this line, you're going to take your shoulder measurement divided by 2 and mark. Then on this hand this way, you're going to go down by 1 inch or 1.5 depending on the size for the shoulder slope. Then you connect back to this folded edge like so. Alright, then once you're done, you're going to take the neck width and the neck depth measurement. You can use your regular neckline measurement, the basic measurement 3 inches by 3 inches, and you can use 4 inches by 4 inches depending on the size of the person. Then you're going to connect with a curve ruler to give it a round neckline. Okay, so the next thing we want to do now is to take all other vertical measurements, which includes the waistline, the hip line. We already took the dress length. So from the shoulder now, I'll measure to the waistline and mark like so. Then from the waistline, I'll measure down to the hip line. Then I'm also going to mark like so. After marking the shoulder, you're going to decide on the sleeve lengths. I just want to use all of the remaining measurements that I have here. So after that, from the shoulder slope, you measure down to the sleeve opening. Here I'm using 10 inches. Yours can be more than that. It's always between 10 to 12 inches. Come to the waistline and divide your waist measurement by 4. Then you add additional allowance of about 3 to 4 inches. Okay, depending on how wide you want it to be. So here I'm working with 4 inches. Then you're going to connect back to the sleeve opening like so. Then from there, we are going to create a curve to form like a kimono sleeve to give us like a armhole effect. Then on the hip line, you're going to take your hip circumference divided by 4 plus additional 4 inches extra allowance. Okay, then you're going to connect this point straight down to the dress length, and then you connect back to the armhole, that is the curve line we created earlier. Okay, so I'm going to connect from the hip rather to the dress length with a straight line like so. Then from there, I'm going to connect back to this point with my curve ruler just to create effect of a waistline, because we do not have the same measurement anyways. This part, if you have enough measurements there, you can simply create your inbuilt pockets. All right, but this one I'm going to be adding the pockets separately. After which you are done with all that, you cut out your fabric just like you see me do it. Then once I'm done cutting out, the next thing I'm going to do is to cut out the side. Next thing you want to do is to open up the fabric like so. This is an asymmetric design, so we want to make sure that we do not make the mistake of cutting both sides. So we need to mirror our pattern. So when you're placing the fabric, you place the wrong side on each other. You're also going to decide on where you want the off shoulder to be, either the right hand side or the left hand side. So mine is going to be on the left hand side. Now you come to this neck width. Here is where we are going to have the strap that falls on the shoulder. Just like the way we used to do for our off shoulder, we are going to be removing some parts from here. Now this line that I'm drawing is going to guide me on where to place the strap later. We are going to come back to this line here, and it's also going to guide us on how and where to take our measurement. Now you want to decide on the wideness of the off shoulder. So from this neck width, you can measure down to 8 inches or 7 inches or 9 inches depending on how you want it to be. So for this one, I'm using 8 inches. Then on this line here, I'm going to measure 5 inches. Remember, when we are doing and I'm going to take 5 inches down, Then from the center of the neckline, I'm going to go down by 2 inches. Then I'm going to connect it to this other side of the neck, just like you see me doing, okay? Because we are trying to maintain the same neckline on the other side, and at the same time we are trying to create an off shoulder effect on the other side. So just like you see me connecting, that is how you are going to connect it. Okay, so we are going to be cutting off these parts. So because it is an asymmetric, that is why you need to open up your fabric and do whatever you want to do on that side. Then as for this line, I'm going to trace it down to the dress length. This is just going to be a guideline for me, and you can also fold this line and press it so that you can have a crease line on the other side on the back, because the strap is going to get to the back. So now I'm going to cut it off, and just like you see me doing, that is how you're going to cut it off. So guys, now this is what the new neckline is going to look like. So do not forget that we have a line here, and that place we are going to be replacing it with a strap later. Okay, so you need to notch that part, or you mark it and make it visible like so. The next thing we are going to do now is to cut the facing, and I'm going to be using this black material. What you are going to do is to place the neckline on the fabric, right side facing each other, just like the way we cut our regular facing. That is what we're trying to do. So you can get any fabric color of your choice, but for this one I chose black. Then I'm going to trace out the neckline. Once I'm done cutting, this is what it's going to look like. Now I'm going to be cutting the wideness for the facing, and I'm going to be cutting 3.5 inches. By the time I'm done sewing both edge, the neckline and the facing, I'm going to have about 2.5 inches left, depending on how wide you want it to be. Okay, so that is the measurement I want to use. Then after tracing all of this out, I'm going to cut it out. Then I'm also going to be cutting two, one for the front and one for the back. So guys, I already cut two, and this is what I have. So the next thing I'm going to do is to turn the neckline one after the other. So you're going to place in the facing on the fabric, and then you are going to sew it round. You notch it, then you flip to the right side and top stitch or under stitch on the actual fabric. So guys, I'm done doing that, and here is what it's going to look like. So what I'm going to do now is to just flip to the right side. Do not forget to notch. Remember, it's going to be like you're going to have a curve shape, so do not forget to notch the important parts, especially the curved part. So I'm going to flip to the right side like so. I'll secure it with the pins. Then I'm going to fold the hem. Now for this part, we're going to be cutting some part off from here, just like it is in the style. This is how you're going to do it to achieve that effect. So and when you're cutting, do not forget to leave about half an inch that you're going to use to fold in. So I already have the half an inch which I'm going to use to secure the edge. Now I'm going to do all of this on the sewing machine for both the front and the back neckline. So guys, I'm done, and this is what it looks like for both the front and the back. So the next thing we want to do now is to create the strap. I already cut a strap which I'm done sewing. I have about 3 inches. So you're going to cut the strap, and for you to know how long, you're going to take your measurements. Remember, we have about 5 inches from this upper part. You're going to take your measurement from there. You take it straight down to the dress length and multiply whatever you have there by 2. Remember, it's going to be the front and the back, and if you don't want it to be at the back, it is just going to extend to some parts of the back. It's not going to get to the dress length at the back, but it's going to get to the dress length on the front. So you cut it like a band. It's going to be double like this. Then you're going to place it on it. Remember, we drew a line earlier. That line is going to be a guideline for you now that you want to place the strap. You start placing it from that 5 inches you measured earlier, leaving about 10 inches at the top. But so I'm going to place it carefully. I'll secure it with my pin. Then I'm going to stitch it down. Then as for the back, it's going to extend to the back like so. But because we are going to join these two shoulders together, remember we leave half an inch. So out of the 5 inches, we are taking half an inch on both sides. That means you're going to have about 9 inches altogether. So you're going to, is either you take the shoulder first before you place the strap, or you place the strap before the shoulder, any which way that is convenient for you. But I'll suggest you do it one after the other. You place the strap on the front first, you join the shoulder, then you extend the strap to the back. So with this, you'll be able to know where exactly you are going to place. So remember, you have a crease line, and so you are going to follow the crease line or the chalk line that you mark earlier. So I'll start by stitching the strap on the front first before joining the shoulder, before extending it to the back. So guys, I'm done doing that, and this is what it's going to look like. So what I'm going to do next is to place it. So once you are done placing the strap like so, you're going to measure down to that 9 inches. It's no longer going to be 10 inches because we already took 1 inch for the joining of the shoulder. So you're going to measure 9 inches. Then where that 9 inches stop, that is where you're going to place the strap for the back bodice. Okay, so you're going to extend it to 9 inches and you're going to place it like so. So you can just go ahead and confirm your measurement again, just to avoid confusion. So, or better still, you stitch the shoulder first before placing the strap on the back. So guys, I'm done doing that, and here is what I have. I already joined the shoulder, and as you can see the side, then I joined the strap as well. So this will make it easier. The next thing I want to do now is to secure the hem of the sleeve. So here, if you do not have enough length for your sleeve length, you can either use the fabric to extend the length of the sleeve, or you just use it to turn the sleeve. You're going to be cutting a strap of fabric about 3 inches wide, and it's going to be as long as the length of your sleeve opening. Remember the 10 inches we measured earlier. So I'm going to be cutting a strap of fabric about 3 inches, and when I'm done, it's going to be 2 inches, and when I'm done sewing, it's going to remain 2 inches. Okay, I'm just going to use it to turn the hem of this sleeve. It's not going to add to the length of the sleeve. So guys, I'm done cutting. I have 2, each one for each side. Then I'm going to place it from the wrong side, and I'm going to flip back to the right side. So this same process applies to the other side. So after which I'm done, I folded it and I take the side seam. I took 1 inch for the side seam from the sleeve opening down, and this is what you're going to have. Then after this, you're going to give it a proper press. So after that, you're going to fold the hem of the dress with whatever added allowance you have, and this is what it's going to look like. So the next thing now is to add the pocket. So if you want to have a pocket, you are going to add your side pocket, and if you do not need a side pocket, you are done with your bubble gown. So guys, this is what we have at the end of the day. Thank you very much for watching. I actually added a pocket to this bubble later, and I'm going to be dropping the video of how to attach a side pocket to bubble. Please kindly check it out. I'm going to be linking the video in the description box. Thank you very much once again for watching this video. Do not forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell, so whenever I drop a new video, you'll be the first person to know. And if you have a video request, you can drop in the comment section for me as well, and I'll be glad to have them. Till we meet again in my next one. Bye bye.